Tunggu kembali, penularan COVID-19 sudah tentunya memberikan impak yang paling besar terhadap sektor ekonomi ataupun ekonomi setiap negara dan sudah tentu Malaysia tidak terkecuali selaku ekonomi yang amat terbuka dan bergantung kepada perdagangan bebas dan juga pelaburan asing. Dan pekerjaan juga memberikan banyak terkesan dengan begitu mendalam dengan PKP dan juga COVID-19 yang menular sejak awal tahun ini. Dan tak lama sebelum ini, Perdana Menteri Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin mengumumkan pelan Penjana untuk cuba menghidupkan kembali ekonomi selepas COVID-19 dapat ditewaskan. Tapi dapatkah pelan Penjana ini menarik semula pelabur, khasnya pelabur asing yang sebelum COVID-19 pun mereka sudah mengamalkan sentimen yang agak atau menyaksikan memberikan pendekatan yang agak berhati-hati terhadap bursa Malaysia dan juga pelaburan ringgit. Saya mahu berbincang dengan saudari Zabedah Giu. Zabedah adalah Ketua Penasihat dan Penyelidikan EXIM Bank dan izinkan saya mengalihkan perbualan ini ke dalam bahasa Inggeris. Zabedah, so what's your take on the strategies outlined in the Penjana plan to woo investors back to Malaysia, especially foreign investors? We've seen an influx or rather an outflow of foreign funds throughout the past few years and then COVID came. So, is Penjana enough to sort of like entice foreign investors and local investors to come back to the market?
Okay, hi Laman. Right. Yes. Before this happened, we are just setting that issue actually. But the thing about Penjana here is that the strategy in Penjana is meant to support the domestic consumption that covers from the households, small businesses, SMEs, as well as the Malaysian corporates. To me, the thing here is that this will basically facilitate to reignite business activities as demand picking up, of which it will gradually improve sentiment for consumption. And through this, it basically provides stability in the market. Then we will see ringgit will be a lot more in a better picture arising from this. As our economic model is basically to have then to strengthen domestic consumption. This basically will spark foreign investors to look at Malaysia as one of the good destinations for them to come back. And I think on the other part also, I would like to highlight here, Malaysia also has improved a lot, as an investment destination for FDI. For example, we have improved, we have climbed our rank in ease of doing business from 2019 at 24th position, now at 12th position in 2020. So this basically gives Malaysia in a very good platform to be considered as one of the investment destinations that will facilitate in way of to set up the business. The other thing also, we in terms of competitiveness index, we are actually second behind Singapore as well as far as among the top ASEAN countries. So this basically also we put Malaysia in a very competitive position for investors to make a comeback after the COVID-19 issues have subsided.
Zabedah, there are plenty of praises to go around. Certainly the ease of doing business is, in terms of our position in that particular list, is quite admirable, is quite good. You mentioned the competitiveness index. We're second to Singapore, but we're quite far, although we're second to Singapore. I think we've gone down a few notches, if you can correct me if I'm wrong. So if I am a foreign investor especially, I've been bearish on the local market for the past few years. I see the trade war, I see negative effects on emerging markets, and then now I see COVID. But then I see also the Penjana plan that has a lot of initiatives to try and spur the domestic economy, as you've mentioned. So if I'm a foreign investor especially, what will make me want to reinvest in Bursa Malaysia? What's in it for me? What will I get?
Okay. Noted that the competitive index basically require further improvement because although we are second from Singapore, we actually are far behind. But I think what happened here, if I were to refer to Penjana initiative for that matter, the 0% tax for 10 years for those companies with investment quantum from 300 to 500 million, and as well as the 15 years of tax incentive for those companies having investment quantum of more than 500 million. I think this is actually a good thing, to happen when companies are basically concerned about the trade war and where they want to relocate their businesses. Having this initiative actually put Malaysia in a very, very comfortable position to be seen by the foreign investor as a next investment destination, because this basically overcome a lot of hurdles in terms of consideration of taxes, which countries, especially among the 10 ASEAN, they offer a good tax incentive as compared to others. So this actually, I see this is actually a main catalyst point here. And I think additionally also, I think the emphasis by the government before this also, whereby we are actually moving towards industry forward, and the utilization of this industry forward among the industry users, industry practitioners. I think this is actually another good point, actually, whereby now is the right time to actually to push more for this development to become the depth of the industry to attract the foreign investors to see Malaysia and invest in Malaysia. And I think also the other part is the encouragement for the digitalization that to come forward, arising what we have to go through, the experience that we have to go through arising from the COVID-19 issues. That also will put another plus point for Malaysia in terms of a good investment destination at the same time.
I'm interested by you mentioning it's the right time, because obviously markets all around the world and in ASEAN and of course Malaysia as well is pretty much subdued. It's not. It's kind of it's somewhat weak because of COVID and also other factors. On the one hand, the low prices environment as far as Bursa Malaysia is concerned, does it make it a very risky place to invest in now, or on the other hand, is it like, because you've got quarters saying now is the time to buy, now it's cheap. So where is this balance and where are we now in terms of both these options?
Okay, I understand the environment is basically weak, and I'm very, very strong cautious taking place in the market. I think what happened here, it is actually on the immediate term, yes, we basically have a major concern where the market is heading to. And I think what happened now is that we have to see the efforts that picking up by the authority and also some those players that try to resolve or try to come up with solution in regards to COVID-19. On the part of the medical side, there's a strong initiative or strong efforts taking out in terms of coming up with a cure for this COVID-19. That's actually something that, on the back of the investor consideration. And I think the interest here is to come back to Malaysia. Malaysia has been a very stable market all this while, and that basically the plus point for the investor. And although at this juncture we experienced a lot of pull-out from our market earlier on, but as far as LCI is concerned, we are still trading at around 1,500 level. So at the back of weak environment, I think this is actually quite a good indicator to see that, market basically hanging up, try to remain resilient despite the difficult situation.
Right, Zabedah, very briefly, because we have to wrap up now, but just want to sneak in one last question. I mean, we can talk about the markets, we can talk about all these things. It all sounds very technical and very high and mighty. So I want to pull it back down to what the people can expect from this. So in terms of the sector to invest in, for investors or local investors, which sectors have the most potential for investment opportunities right now and probably the rest of this year, and also the most potential for jobs creation, because that's a priority now, even for the Penjana plan, to create more jobs or to maintain the current jobs. So which sectors are the most promising? Okay.
I think I would like to divide that into two parts, basically. Those sectors that, more to meet for the local needs, for example, like agribusiness, healthcare, as well as the F&B side, that whereby the safety net issue will become prominent at this juncture. So mobilization of this sector on the back of industry forward and digitalization and how it will transform the sector, it will actually create a new opportunity and new phase of job market to be offered to our graduates. This basically will create interest for investment to spur into on this side. The other part is actually a sector that continues to support Malaysia high exports. For example, like E&Es, machineries and mechanical appliances, medical appliances in that matter, as well as mineral oil and fuel. This is actually the bigger part of the sector whereby that continue to support Malaysia export shares. And I think as it progresses and considering the need of the development of this industry with digitalization industry forward, I think it will create interest for investors to see this sector is one of the best sectors for them to come in. The other part is actually those sectors that in compliance with climatic issue, environment, as well as green tech initiatives. Sectors that moving towards that, for example, those pollution control sectors, transformation of automotive industry into environmental friendly. So these are actually kind of factor that will continue to be among the interests of the investor.